entrano senza che tu te ne accorga. Bussano alla porta, sono cortesi, no, va bene, va, entra. E poi alla fine comandano loro nel tuo animo.
The sacred pages of the Bible provide a unique perspective on God's divine plan for humanity. But it's not all good news. Revelation 13 introduces the mysterious figure of the Antichrist, who will compel the world to worship him and bear his mark. In a recent shocking development, Pope Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, reveals that the Antichrist has arrived and is amongst us. Who is this mysterious figure who uses deceit and manipulation to gain followers? Could he be a political leader, a religious figure, or even linked to modern technology? What implications does his arrival hold for the world? Let us embark on a quest for answers to these pressing questions. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope and spiritual leader of the Catholic Church since March 13, 2013, has recently made a startling revelation. According to his profound understanding of eschatology, he has unveiled the existence of the Antichrist, who currently lurks in the shadows, biding its time to reveal itself. Pope Francis, renowned for his emphasis on discernment and the eternal battle between good and the nefarious forces of the Antichrist, imparts invaluable teachings on a variety of critical issues such as social justice, environmental stewardship, and mercy. In his teachings, Pope Francis intriguingly draws a connection between the concept of the 10 kings in biblical prophecy and his revelation concerning the end times and the Antichrist. Before we explore what Pope Francis just revealed about the Antichrist's arrival, it is worth noting that numerous theories have surfaced regarding the nature of the Antichrist. These theories encompass the notion of a wealthy billionaire, a religious leader, a political figure, and even an apostate church leader. The theory proposing a wealthy billionaire as the Antichrist is a speculative interpretation of biblical prophecies. It suggests that the Antichrist will emerge as a wealthy individual wielding immense economic and political influence. Proponents of this theory draw parallels between specific biblical verses and the characteristics commonly associated with affluent individuals. One key aspect often referenced is the notion that the Antichrist will possess charisma and influence, capable of uniting people under their spell. It is postulated that a wealthy, powerful individual could effortlessly sway public opinion and amass a devoted following. However, it is crucial to approach such interpretations with caution, as biblical prophecy inherently allows for diverse viewpoints. The concept of a wealthy Antichrist is merely one among many possibilities. A frequently cited verse in discussions surrounding the Antichrist is found in the book of Revelation, specifically in Revelation chapter 13, 16, 18. This passage suggests that the wealthy billionaire Antichrist will enforce a mark upon every person, regardless of their social standing, preventing them from engaging in any activity without this mark. The mark is believed to bear the name of the beast, or the number representing it, commonly known as 666. Interpreters of this verse often highlight the economic control element, linking it to the potential influence a wealthy figure could exert over global commerce and trade. In addition to citing Revelation 13, 16, 18, proponents of the rich billionaire Antichrist theory point to various biblical passages that, when interpreted in a specific manner, align with the characteristics of a wealthy and influential individual assuming the role of the Antichrist. Furthermore, these passages underscore the Antichrist's potential inclination to reshape societal structures and norms through their wealth and influence. However, it is important to note that many scholars and religious authorities caution against overly specific identifications of the Antichrist, emphasizing the symbolic and metaphorical nature of apocalyptic literature. Another captivating theory revolves around the Antichrist manifesting as a religious leader. This aspect of eschatology has instilled doubt in the hearts of many regarding religious authorities. Biblical verses and interpretations contribute to the notion of a spiritual leader embodying the Antichrist. In 2 Thessalonians 2, 3, 4, the Apostle Paul discusses the arrival of the man of lawlessness, or the son of destruction, who opposes and exalts himself above all deities and objects of worship. Some interpret this passage as a reference to the Antichrist, suggesting a religious leader with sinful tendencies. The Apostle John further warns about the coming of Antichrists in 1 John 2:18, 22, describing them as those who deny Jesus as Christ. While these verses may not explicitly point to a singular figure, they contribute to the broader understanding of antichrists as charismatic individuals leading people astray from traditional Christian beliefs. In Matthew 24, Jesus, in his discourse on the end times, issues a warning about false prophets who will perform extraordinary signs and wonders, deceiving even the most faithful. This cautionary note can be interpreted as a forewarning against charismatic leaders who may mislead people, thereby laying the groundwork for the concept of an antichrist deceiving through religious charisma. The idea of a spiritual leader assuming the role of the antichrist frequently intertwines with broader discussions concerning the nature of the end times, the second coming of Christ, and the fulfillment of biblical prophecies. Throughout history, scholars and theologians have offered diverse perspectives on these passages, enriching the tapestry of eschatological thought within Christianity. A third captivating theory suggests that the Antichrist could manifest as a political leader. This intriguing facet of eschatological interpretations within modern Christianity explores the notion that a political figure might engage in interfaith diplomacy, presenting a facade of unity while subtly undermining core religious beliefs. This aligns with biblical warnings about false prophets and deceivers, which has been a reoccurring theme of Pope Francis. But to appreciate the Pope's revelation of the Antichrist, we have to go back to the scriptures. What are the biblical backings to the concept of the Antichrist? What does the book of Daniel say about the figure and its arrival? The concept of the Antichrist in biblical teachings is not only discussed in the book of Revelation, but is also hinted at in the book of Daniel. Although the term Antichrist is not explicitly used in Daniel, it presents a vision that is often associated with this figure. In chapter 8 of the book of Daniel, there is a vision of a goat that symbolizes a powerful political leader. This leader rises to great prominence and exhibits a fierce and destructive nature. Many interpreters see a connection between these verses and the Antichrist, suggesting that this political leader possesses cunning and destructive power. The book of Daniel, throughout its chapters, presents various visions of beasts and rulers. In chapters 7 verses 8, 20, and 25, a boastful horn is mentioned, speaking great things and waging war against the saints. Some scholars relate this imagery to the Antichrist, proposing a parallel with a charismatic religious leader who rises to power and persecutes believers. Furthermore, in Daniel 11, there is a prophecy about a king who exalts himself above all gods and speaks astonishing things against the God of gods. This leader also shows no regard for the desire of women, a characteristic that has sparked debates among scholars, but is often associated with the Antichrist. The emphasis on political and military power in these verses aligns with the concept of a political leader as the Antichrist. The Apostle Paul, in his first letter to Timothy, warned about the Spirit, expressly cautioning that in later times some will depart from the faith and be influenced by deceiving spirits and false teachings. Although the Antichrist is not explicitly mentioned here, this passage contributes to the broader idea of deception and a departure from true faith, which are often associated with a political figure who leads people astray. There is a well-known theory that suggests the Antichrist may emerge from within the church as an apostate leader. Jesus himself, in the Sermon on the Mount, warned about false prophets who disguise themselves as sheep but inwardly are ravenous wolves. This verse sets the stage for the notion that a deceptive leader could arise from within the church, pretending to be a faithful shepherd while harboring destructive intentions. In his discourse on the end times, Jesus prophesied about the rise of false prophets who would mislead many. This aligns with the idea that the Antichrist might not be an external enemy, but could emerge from within the church, exploiting religious authority to deceive believers. The Apostle Peter also issued a warning about false prophets and teachers who would secretly introduce destructive heresies and deny the Lord who redeemed them. This prophecy adds to the narrative of internal corruption within the church. potentially paving the way for an apostate leader who opposes authentic Christian teachings. These biblical references collectively contribute to the theory that the Antichrist could potentially emerge as an apostate church leader before transitioning into a political figure. The idea of an apostate church leader as the Antichrist underscores the dangers of spiritual deception and the significance of discernment within Christian communities. While the Antichrist is depicted as a real human figure, these biblical teachings shed light on the potential characteristics and origins of this individual, emphasizing the need for vigilance and adherence to true faith. What other form has the Antichrist been predicted to take? The concept of the Antichrist has sparked audacious theories regarding its potential forms and manifestations. Some eschatological theorists suggest that the Antichrist may take the guise of an extraterrestrial being. Imagine a scenario where the Antichrist, cunning and deceptive, adopts an alien identity to infiltrate humanity, weaving a cosmic web of deception. This speculative concept introduces a science fiction twist to eschatological narratives, blending extraterrestrial intrigue with the biblical notion of the Antichrist. Envision the Antichrist utilizing advanced alien technology to conceal its true identity. This goes beyond the typical Men in Black scenario involving frequent shape-shifting, holographic illusions, and seamlessly blending into human society. The invasion is subtle yet profound. The Antichrist, disguised as an alien, is believed to assume a seemingly human existence. It walks among us, talks like us, and even experiences the human condition. This sophisticated deception raises profound questions about identity, ethics, and the boundaries between humanity and the unknown. To further its act, the Antichrist embraces human culture, attending social events, participating in global politics, and engaging in philanthropy. This masquerade involves mimicking human appearance and embodying our societal norms and values. Advanced alien capabilities extend beyond the physical realm. In its extraterrestrial form, the Antichrist could possess mind-controlling abilities, manipulating individuals and global events to align with its nefarious agenda. This raises the stakes, as humanity becomes unwitting pawns in a cosmic chess game. The grand deception of the Antichrist is not limited to a local conspiracy, it is a global charade. Imagine world leaders, celebrities, and influential figures unknowingly following the lead of this alien in human guise. The world becomes a stage, and the Antichrist orchestrates a grand performance. Beyond the physical sphere, the Antichrist's deception extends into the spiritual domain. It presents itself as a figure of enlightenment, offering alternate paths to salvation and spiritual fulfillment. This creates a cosmic clash between genuine faith and the seductive allure of the impostor. The peak of this narrative involves the gradual unveiling of the cosmic conspiracy. The Antichrist's disguise falters as humanity unravels the truth, revealing an evil extraterrestrial force manipulating human history. This revelation prompts an existential reflection on what it means to be human. The blurred lines between reality and illusion, human and alien, raise profound questions about identity, trust, and the nature of good and evil. This imaginative and strange scenario combines elements of biblical prophecy with the intrigue of alien deception, creating a thought-provoking narrative that challenges conventional ideas about the end times. It invites contemplation on the nature of deception, the vulnerability of humanity, and the blurred boundaries between the familiar and the unknown in the cosmic tapestry of existence. Another captivating scenario is one where people worship an alien, deceived into believing it is human, only to realize later that it is the Antichrist. This vivid narrative draws on speculative eschatological thought, suggesting that advanced extraterrestrial beings could use their technology, charisma, or deceptive abilities to manipulate and lead humanity astray. To solidify its influence, the alien might perform awe-inspiring miracles or display advanced technological feats beyond human comprehension. These demonstrations could include healing, telepathy, or even the manipulation of matter, creating an atmosphere of wonder and reverence among its followers. As news of these miraculous events spreads globally, the alien figure gains widespread adoration, and a dedicated following. People from various cultures and backgrounds are drawn to the promise of a utopian future under the guidance of this seemingly benevolent being. The alien weaves together elements of different religious and spiritual traditions, presenting itself as a unifying force that transcends existing divisions. Its teachings incorporate universal themes, fostering a sense of spiritual unity among its followers. The alien might even introduce innovations that revolutionize society, solving global issues and gaining even more devotion. These technological marvels could range from sustainable energy solutions to medical breakthroughs, enhancing the allure of the alien figure. The arrival of the alien figure might coincide with a current global crisis, such as the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict, making its promises of salvation and prosperity particularly appealing in times of uncertainty. People might be more susceptible to charismatic leaders offering hope and direction. However, as the true identity of the exalted figure is gradually revealed, subtle signs or moments of moral ambiguity might be initially dismissed. Yet, as the alien's true nature becomes evident, a sense of collective shock and disillusionment could grip its followers. The revelation of the alien's true identity could spark a profound crisis of faith among its followers, leading them to question their beliefs and confront the stark contrast between the promised utopia and the emerging reality of deception and manipulation. This extraterrestrial scenario taps into themes of charismatic leadership, the power of technological advancements, and the vulnerability of humanity in the face of profound change. While such a narrative is speculative and firmly rooted in science fiction and esoteric theology, it serves as a thought-provoking exploration of the complexities surrounding belief, deception, and the potential consequences of blind devotion. It encourages us to contemplate the boundaries of our own understanding and the challenges we may face when confronted with extraordinary circumstances. This concept is extensively documented in the book titled Aliens and the Antichrist, written by John Myler. In his book, Myler delves into the fascinating intersection of extraterrestrial beings and the Antichrist, presenting a comprehensive exploration of this speculative scenario. How is the Antichrist linked with the Roman Empire? Could the Antichrist be more of a concept than person? The Antichrist's connection to the Roman Empire is a topic that often emerges from historical, geopolitical, and cultural analysis, rather than direct scriptural interpretation. It draws inspiration from the historical significance and power of the original Roman Empire, renowned for its vast influence, military might, and political dominance. Over the course of centuries, the Roman Empire gradually declined and collapsed. The theory speculates that a charismatic world leader, identified as the Antichrist, would emerge to restore a form of global power similar to that of the Roman Empire. Proponents of this theory point to historical parallels, where leaders sought to establish universal or hegemonic authority. They draw comparisons with historical conquerors who aimed to unify diverse regions under a single rule, suggesting that the Antichrist could follow a similar path in the contemporary context. Rome, symbolizing power, governance, and cultural influence, plays a significant role in this theory. It suggests that the Antichrist might metaphorically or physically rebuild aspects of the Roman Empire in an attempt to consolidate global authority. This rebuilding process could involve political alliances, economic influence, or even the establishment of a centralized world government. The enduring cultural legacy of Rome, visible in architecture, governance models, and legal systems, adds depth to the theory. The Antichrist, in rebuilding the Roman Empire, might be perceived as adopting or adapting certain cultural and institutional elements that echo the historical empire in the modern era. The theory takes into account the current era of globalization, which has led to unprecedented interconnectedness. It proposes that the Antichrist, utilizing contemporary tools of globalization such as economic alliances, digital communication, and political influence, could create a global empire reminiscent of the Roman model. Technological advancements and enhanced communication are considered critical components in this theory. The Antichrist might exploit these tools for surveillance, control, and manipulation, creating a global empire where information, economies, and even individual lives are tightly regulated. According to this theory, the Antichrist would be a master strategist in the political arena, forging alliances, manipulating geopolitical dynamics, and exploiting crises to advance their agenda. The emphasis lies on political cunning and the ability to navigate the complexities of international relations. Economic power is seen as a critical tool for rebuilding the Roman Empire in a modern context. The Antichrist might exert control through economic systems, trade agreements, and financial institutions, creating a global economic order under their sway. In addition to the geopolitical and historical aspects, there is also the theological concept of the spirit of the Antichrist. This concept extends beyond specific biblical references and explores a more pervasive and subtle influence that opposes the principles of Christ. The spirit of the Antichrist is not limited to a single figure, but manifests in various forms, ideologies, and behaviors that are contrary to the teachings of Christianity. Rooted in early Christian theology, the concept of the spirit of the Antichrist gained prominence in discussions about the nature of evil, deception, and opposition to Christ. It has evolved over centuries as theologians grappled with the complexities of spiritual warfare and the challenges faced by believers. The spirit of the Antichrist is often seen as a pervasive force that subtly influences individuals, societies, and ideologies. It is not necessarily tied to a specific person, but can manifest through ideas and actions that oppose or distort Christian values. The spirit of the Antichrist involves a denial or distortion of the core principles of Christianity, including the divinity of Christ, the redemptive nature of his sacrifice, and the authority of biblical teachings. It can manifest in ideologies that undermine or reject these foundational beliefs. The spirit of the Antichrist is thought to be present in ideologies or movements that are explicitly anti-Christian or seek to suppress religious freedoms. This could include secular ideologies that marginalize religious beliefs or extremist views that actively oppose Christianity. In the writings of the Apostle John, he mentions the Antichrist and the presence of precursors that would precede his arrival. These precursors, influenced by the same Spirit, parallel the way believers can be filled with the Holy Spirit. Today, we can observe a decline in reverence for Jesus Christ and an increase in anti-God sentiments within society. This is evident in the growing trend of lawlessness, which becomes more apparent over time. For instance, in the past, it was common to find Bibles in American classrooms and UK hotel rooms. However, in recent times, there has been a disappearance of Bibles from public spaces, accompanied by a decline in the fear of God globally. These shifts in societal values are paving the way for the eventual arrival of the Antichrist. It is a misconception that the Antichrist will need to bring about significant changes to the world upon his arrival. In reality, the world will already be primed and prepared for him, as the spirit of the Antichrist is already at work, contributing to the decline in the fear of God. Thanks for watching another episode of Beyond Discovery. While you're still here, click on the other videos you see on your screen right now.